real problem with Darwin's model of evolution is that Charles Darwin just failed to uncover the real evidence. Evidence that would have shown how wrong his ideas really were. Evidence that is surfacing every day. So what exactly did Charles Darwin write that divided the scientific world in 1859? In his book, Origin of the Species, he suggested that animals, including man, have all descended from a common ancestor, from simple marine organisms. Darwin wanted us to believe that simple organisms turned into fish, and then amphibians, part sea, part land animals, then reptiles, then mammals, primates, or apes, and finally humans. Basically, his theory was that man descended from a sludge pool over millions of years, and that our most recent ancestors are apes. And that flatly contradicts the Bible's account in Genesis, that each species, including humans, were created individually. Now, of course, evolutionary adaptation does occur within the same species. In other words, certain birds develop characteristics over time that help them adapt to their environment.
As a brief aside to this blatant straw man argument, if the deity magically created all species, as Miss Folger just claimed, why do we observe the emergence of new species?
There's a certain amount of selection. You'll get variation. Finches that migrated to an island in the Galapagos group did vary and change. But they're still finches. They got there as finches, and they still are finches with variations.
Actually, each island of the Galapagos has several species of finch. They are all descended from the same founding population. This observation also contradicts Miss Folger's prior claim.
If you take two medium finches with medium-sized beaks and you breed them, you will get some finches with small beaks and some finches with larger beaks. Over time, as these finches spread out into the various environments, certain beak sizes would be favored in certain environments, and therefore they would become the predominant type. But the point is the capability to produce the small beaks, the medium beaks, and the large beaks was already in the parent population of the Galapagos finches, and it was simply the environmental differences that allowed them to be expressed. It was not the creation of any new and unique information.
Is everyone else tired of hearing the same old nonsense? Here's a quick look at some of Darwin's finches. Remember, ICR wants you to believe that that one founding population already contained all of these different finches. Again, our esteemed creationists have halted their research with the abstract of a single study. Over 20 years, scientists were able to observe and document changes in the beak size of Geospiza fortis. Much like Kettlewell's work, this study is but one string in a grand tapestry of research which creationists blatantly ignore.
But cats don't become dogs, and apes don't become humans.
Oddly enough, that non sequitur marks the end of the first segment of Miss Folger's argument. At best, she managed to weave together a rather obtuse semantic argument and a dishonest straw man against Dr. Kettlewell. Actually, the entire fossil record is a testament to the predictions of evolutionary biology. As is already plainly clear, we are going to have to wade through a lot of nonsense in this segment.
Darwin said that he believed the fossil record would show transitional species, like the long-sought-after missing link, a creature that would be something more than an ape, but less than a human.
Darwin predicted that transitional fossils would be found, and many have.
Darwin knew his thoughts about evolution would stand or fall on whether or not these in-between links existed.
There is much more to evolutionary biology than fossils. Nucleotide sequence homology, morphological homology, adaptation, speciation, and extinction are but a few of the other observations which support evolutionary biology.
In fact, it was Darwin himself who warned, unless transitional forms could be found in the fossil record, the theory of evolution is worthless speculation.
Nothing really beats a quote mine based on a misquote. Darwin predicted that the fossil record would show a progression from simple to complex, and it does.
In other words, if evolution was ever going to be proven to be true, it would first have to find fossils that showed these in-between links between various species actually existed.
Again, the fossil record is but one avenue, of research into evolutionary biology.
He speculated that when these intermediate fossils were found, they would clearly show the steps from one species to the next.
No, Darwin hypothesized that transitional fossils would share characteristics of two related groups. Many such transitional fossils have been found. Arguably, all fossils, and all living organisms for that matter, are transitional.
That means there would be fossil records of very strange-looking creatures.
Evolution does not require such. However, the fossil record does contain several otherworldly fossils, such as Anomalocaris, a predatory proto-arthropod of the Cambrian era, which could reach lengths up to 2 meters.
Fish with the beginnings of legs.
Meet Tiktaalik.
Reptiles with primitive wings.
Meet Archaeopteryx.
And ape-like creatures with human characteristics.
And meet Australopithecus afarensis.
Because my favorite is a platypus. And the reason the platypus is my favorite is because it was discovered in 1797 and sent back to the British Museum, and the British scientists actually thought that some taxidermist had cut up all these different animals and stuck them all back together again.
Dr. George Shaw initially questioned the veracity of the specimen prior to his examination of it. Dr. Shaw was skeptical, as all scientists must be. Dr. Shaw later published the first scientific description of the platypus in 1799.
Because they got this funny-looking creature that had a bill like a duck.
No, the bill of a platypus is at best superficially similar to that of a bird, if you have no understanding of anatomy.
And a beaver-like tail.
No, unlike a beaver, the tail of a platypus is not scaly. Like the Tasmanian devil, a platypus uses its tail to store fat.
Hair like a bear and web feet like an otter.
No, the layered hair of a platypus is adapted to serve as insulation for its aquatic environment. The webbing of its feet is more similar to that found in birds.
Claws like a reptile, laid eggs like a turtle, feeds a shung of milk like a mammal, has spurs like a rooster and poison like a snake.
Not even close. First, the spurs of the platypus are in no way homologous to those of a rooster. Second, the venom of a platypus is composed of over 250 compounds. However, the 4 major active components are defensins. Defensins are small peptides which are part of the immune system. 3 of the 4 are completely unique to the platypus. Additionally, unlike the venom of a snake, that of a platypus has no necrotizing ability.
Now, if you found an animal like that, you'd think somebody had stitched all these animals together. But in actual fact, this is a beautifully designed little creature.
Nope, monotremes are not very well adapted. In fact, there's only 3 extant species remaining. Like most of the natural fauna of Australia, they can be easily displaced by invasive mammals.
And you see, the interesting thing is this. If you're going to believe in evolution and believe one kind of animal changed into another, and here you have one that has features of reptiles, birds, and mammals, you have to believe it almost evolved from everything.
That straw man was just sad. Is Mr. Ham even trying anymore?
But the reason it's my favorite creature is because I think every time an evolutionist looks at the platypus, I think God smiles because I think he made it just for them.
So, what does evolutionary biology say about the platypus? Monotremes were an early divergence from mammals. The platypus possesses characteristics of early therian mammals, such as gait, limbs attached at sides, and leathery eggs. It also possesses classical mammalian characteristics, such as hair, mammary glands, and endothermy. The most shocking transitional characteristic is found in the sex chromosomes. The platypus possesses 10 sex chromosomes, with the XY, 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 XY arrangement, resulting in a male. The platypus does not use the SRY developmental pathway found in other mammals. While the exact process of sex determination remains unknown, a region of one Y chromosome contains portions of the ZZ-ZW sex developmental pathway found in modern birds. Evolutionary biology is capable of explaining all of these observations. Mr. Ham dismisses these amazing findings as his deity's notion of a joke. In order to preserve the sanity of you, the viewer, we are going to quickly summarize Miss Folger's outright lies. She claims that there are no transitional fossils, and repeats that claim 7 times over the course of 2 minutes. Richard Milton, Dwayne Gish, and Ken Ham then chime in to repeat the claim once, twice, and once again, respectively. Then, Mr. Ham launches into a non sequitur about coelacanths. A few scientists are quote-mined, Mr. Ham invokes the magic of kinds 3 times. However, he fails to click his heels while doing so, so it still doesn't work. And another scientist